Good morning, Carla.
Good morning, Chris.
And it truly is. I mean, it's 11, so it's morning, but it's not 11 for you.
Correct. It is 8.
8.
It is 8 in the morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So, why is it 8 o'clock for you?
Yes, I am in San Diego. I don't know how many episodes we've talked about San Diego.
A lot.
I'm currently in San Diego for our Equity Fellows convening. We are convening 2 of our cohorts, Cohort 4 and Cohort 5. And today is the second to last day of this week-long journey with folks. So
I think I saw on social earlier this week, did you have Carlos Moreno, Caleb Rashad, and Pedro Noguero in the same room, in the same convening?
Yes, we did. Yes.
That's a powerhouse trio right there.
Pedro was our speaker on Tuesday, I believe. That was powerful.
Did you line him up for a future Cup of Joy episode?
You already know. All right. 2 weeks
well,
now.
Speaking of powerhouse, and I don't think we've spoken. The fact that you're in San Diego is because of the Equity Fellows convening. But
yeah,
speaking of powerhouse, who's our guest today?
Our guest is Meisha Porter. Yes, welcome. Okay, I was like, are you welcoming now? And then I'll change. Perfect. I need to edit Meisha's name. I'm gonna put Meisha Porter. Sorry, y'all. Y'all need to know. So I have Meisha here.
What's up, Meisha?
What's up, Chris? Good morning. It is very early, Chris.
I feel like you're putting that on me.
I mean, Chris, we could have made the time your time, but
That's fair. I'll take it.
So Meisha, I want to start off by asking, what's your experience been like this week? This is the final convening for Cohort 4. So how's it been for you?
So, I mean, it's been so powerful. I think that our Cohort 4, when we came together in New Orleans, there was just an immediate connection and gelling and like drive about our work, our collective work as Equity Fellows. And then the pandemic hit and like threw us all in different directions. And I think we just feel so blessed. I feel so blessed to reconvene with the folks who are here, who've continued to do great work. But this space has given us that reconnection that we needed. And meeting Cohort 5, like I think, the 2 cohorts together, I think they've learned from us what it means to be a fellow because they haven't had the in-person experience at all. And we've learned from them how important it was.
Yeah. What it's been, so today's Thursday and today we're actually going to go to school visits. But so far, is there like a memorable experience or something that stands out?
Honestly, it was yesterday sharing our capstones. And we all had a bit of anxiety about it. And I think it's super powerful. The fellows are from across the country, right? Like we're not all from one place. And it's super powerful to hear how, and the different positions in education and nonprofit systems. It's so great to hear how people are attacking the work from their seats in space and how they're leveraging their influence to show up for kids in communities of color across this country. I think that was the most powerful, like hearing the work, hearing what people are doing. You sat across ear hustling at our group. But like we had a teacher, we had a principal, we had me, we had an assistant superintendent. And so like from, again, across the country who are just all of us, the foundation was how do we show up best and leverage our power and influence in service of kids.
Yeah, Chris, I have to tell you, I've been ear hustling. I was ear hustling all day yesterday, but just the visual of like power in their circle, I was like, wow, it was a group of all women. And I was just like, this is the most beautiful. It was like moments of vulnerability, moments of like, I'm sharing, this is what I'm working on. These are my questions. This is what I'm challenged with. And I think that's what the space is about. So I wanted to say that because it was touching.
Yeah. Sure.
And so I guess why Equity Fellows? Why did you first apply?
So when I first applied, I'm trying to remember who I was then.
A lot has happened.
A lot has happened. I mean, like Dr. Padilla, who I respect greatly from Newburgh, was a fellow. He was cohort 1. And, not just because I'm here and Chris may have to get up early, but having experienced Big Bang, all of my Big Bang experiences have been transformational for me personally. And so that's why, because I knew it was going to be a personal transformational experience. And I think I had just, I think it was I was perhaps in my second year as executive superintendent, and I knew I needed something that was about growing and developing me and my leadership, my equity leadership lens.
Nice. And so, okay, so tell me about these. So the last time you convened, it was 2019. Y'all were in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Since 2019, what has happened in your life?
Child. This is a cup of tea. So since 2019, I took over the largest school system in the country, New York City. I became the chancellor in March of 2020, at probably one of the most difficult times for the system, the most challenging times in New York City politically to take on that role. But I did it because I was questioning the way the system was showing up in service of young people. The people I'm friends with were questioning. We were questioning it in group chats that we are all in. And when I was asked to step up, I felt like it was God directing me to face a challenge that I had been conflicted by. I felt like the system was making a lot of decisions that were in service of adults and not in service of children. And if I could have a role or a moment in that, then I wanted to have my moment to do that. And like everyone knows, New York City is led by mayoral control, and I was very clear that I was in a 10-month job or a 10-month interview for what I would do next. And so here I am at Next, and really honored to be the inaugural CEO and president of the Bronx Community Foundation. Pick it up. And even more excited about returning to the borough and community in this role that, if not for the work that I've done there, that people have done with me there, I would have never been tapped to be chancellor. And so I think it's important that I return the flowers, with my presence in the, to the community that just made me.
Meisha, you were the first Black woman chancellor of the New York City public school system.
Yes.
We are poised to have our first Black woman Supreme Court justice.
Mm-hmm.
You are a Black woman about to, or have already assumed the mantle of president and CEO of a foundation. Just watching the hearings, what is it like navigating this world as a Black woman in leadership?
So 2 things. First of all, I'm so proud, but I'm also disappointed, right? Like, I know so many amazing Black women who've worked in our system, who could have led our system. It is unimaginable to me that I was the first Black woman. Not because I'm not struck by the power and the importance historically of that, but that we still, in 2022, are having so many firsts for people of color. Like it is astounding, and I am super proud to have been the person to break that glass ceiling. I also have been watching the hearings and just recognize the way the world attacks Black women who, when I look at this nominee, what makes her prepared for this role is every experience that she's had. Like, she is 150% qualified, and she happens to be a Black woman. you know. And so when I look at the questions that she's being asked, it just reminds me of the way when I became chancellor, the New York Post put out an article and questioned my experience, how many years I taught, if I was even qualified, if I had certification. And that's what happens to Black women. And I was just like, you know, we had a man, and this is no disrespect to any man who ran the system, but, you know, we had a chancellor who never sat in a classroom, who never stepped foot, who never stood in front of kids, who never led a school, who never led a system. I was a teacher. I founded a part of a team that founded a school. I was a principal for 11 years. I was a superintendent in the Bronx. I became the executive superintendent of 300 schools. And so, like, when you challenge my experience, you are challenging you are challenging Black women across the country, right? When you challenge this amazing nominees, the Sister Ketanji's experience, you're not questioning her experience. You're making clear that you question Black women differently. I also have to say, and this is striking to me, I have a friend who is a superintendent, you know, in Long Island, and we joke about our names, right? Like, because who would ever thought a Meisha or a Ketanji would, right? Like, you know, would sit in these seats. And I think it's powerful, you know, like, you have to say my name, you have to know my name, and it doesn't have to be a name that fits your vernacular. So I think all of those things play out for me, you know, just in the way Black women are asked to do the hardest things and then challenged in the hardest ways.
Damn.
Yeah, for real. Like,
I thought about that a little bit.
Yeah.
That was like
no, I just gave you space, Meisha. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. No, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Like, you just dropped some wisdom. Hope our viewers are like, yes. So where can folks find you?
Folks can find me, I don't know, like, find me in the Bronx. I'll be back in the Bronx. But like, you're talking like social media. I don't remember all those things.
Media,
okay.
But like,
yeah.
Do you have the website, Chris? Bronx?
Yeah, it's The Bronx. Remember that. But Chris, if you could like blow up the website, it's The Bronx, which is more important that you recognize that the Bronx is the only borough that begins with the. So you won't find us if you don't remember that it's The Bronx. And
go ahead.
Big ups to the Bronx Community Foundation for getting that URL way back when, man, to own thebronx.org.
Yes. And, you know, shout out to the whole team. You know, I am beginning, but there's such a foundation that Derek and Desmond Lewis have built, and the board members of the foundation have been so committed to making sure this thing happens. And now I'm ready to like just help it fly.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You.
We really appreciate it.
Night, Chris.
I'm gonna do this.
Well, listen, it feels weird to like kick Meisha out now since she brought all that wisdom. So let's wrap this up quick. So her word is the last word. I will say this: Meisha inspired so much in Austin last week with South by Southwest. We're heading to ASU GSV next week or the week after to do another leadership journeys. It's going to be outstanding. So, Carla, have a great day with the tremendous Equity Fellows cohorts 4 and 5.
Thank you.
We'll catch up Monday.
Yes. Have a good day.
Bye.
Oh, wait. The choice is yours.
The choice is yours, but do it. All right.
Bye.